Well, it's really an exciting day. Yesterday, a friend who is downsizing her house called and said, "Oh, I have some fabric that I need to get rid of. Do you have any idea where I can get rid of it?" She knew I was a quilter. And so I said, "Well, I belong to a number of guilds. I can distribute it or I can use it myself. What would you like done with it?" She said, "Oh, you can have it. Come get it." So today I'm going to open the bag that she gave me. So here's the bag. Garbage bags. Ooh, nice fabric. Look at that. Lovely fabric. Big piece. Another piece of fabric. Now you notice when I take them out of the bag, I have no idea what I'm going to get. How big they are. This one is poly cotton probably. But I am somewhat sorting them into categories as I'm looking at them. This one is all sandwiches. I think she goes to the United States. She has fabric from Joann's. So I'm kind of sorting them into 4 or 5 categories. One based on the size of the piece of fabric, the type of fabric. Here are 3 pieces that are solid colors, and there's substantial amounts of each of those. So they're going to go into the fabrics will all go into different sections on my storage area. The solid colors I keep in a bin of solid color fabrics. All of the other pieces that I have are based on the size, the colorway. Sometimes I have small pieces that go into a bin under my desk that I could use and cut up for all sorts of things. But it's really fun to have a whole bunch of new fabrics that are just given to me, so that's really nice. I have some really good friends. In the bag there were also a few small pieces that went directly into my strips and into my scrap bin. That piece that I'm looking at right there is a huge piece and it's good for a backing. And then there were some Christmas fabrics and little bits and pieces of things. So there's a whole variety of things, and you need to have places to sort and places to store them so that you can make use of everything. Orphan blocks. Now you remember I had a whole wall full of blocks, and that's what I have left up on the wall. I'll just do a quick review of the things that I've already made. So here's one of the quilts I made from the Orphan blocks. You see across, I had a panel, this piece, that piece, and that piece, as well as this top part across there. So I cut the panel apart and used those bits because it gave a nice resting stop, I guess, with all the chaos of the rest of the things there. But basically, I think these came from 4 different people, and I just managed to stick them together in a semi-pleasing way, I guess. And it'll be a nice lap quilt once it's all quilted. So here in the center, I have the green and yellow bouncy ball pieces that I started with. I took out the centers that were in them and replaced them with these little animals, and then just used from my stash some mottled color to go around them so that the little animal section stood out. And because that was a panel as well, there were leftover bits after I fussy cut those out. And then I just made random log cabin, I guess, around the pieces that were left over, and made another baby quilt that needs to be quilted out of those. So that used up all of those little animal prints, as well as those bouncy blocks and a whole bunch of strips out of my strip bin and scraps out of my scrap bin, which I'm happy with. Next one. So now, remember the little patterns that were inside of those blocks are now over in this quilt, and all I did was take them all out, and I just added a bright color pattern and made a checkerboard type of quilt. And the small prints now don't get sort of, you can see what the small prints are, and it's another little baby quilt. When I'm making these baby quilts, I have a nice wall here which allows me just to put things up on the wall, and then I can move things around until I like them. But baby quilts that we make at our group are 40 inches wide by 60 inches long. And instead of measuring every time, I use this solid line here between my panels, and I put on my panel way up there 2 little blue marks with ink. I put them on, and down at the bottom I have another blue mark, and over at one side I have another blue mark, and up there I have another blue mark. So when I'm putting things on the wall, I know where the outside limits are for my 60 inches and my 40 inches. And that makes it a lot easier to place things on the wall. So the first thing I'm doing is, from the rest of the scraps over there, I took the 2 big blocks of already pieced half square triangles, and they're going to be the main centerpiece of the new quilt I'm making. So now I'm going to add some more things from the wall and see if I can make it fit the parameters that I want, the 40 by 60 inches. Now just be a minute. So here I've put together down the center the 2 big squares of half square triangles, and then around the outside I have all of these cone shaped pieces. I put them around the outside, and so the 2 pieces in the middle need to have something to divide, to go around them. And from the bag of goodies I just got, that piece of small print with a light brown background seems to work for me. It separates the 2 components, and there's lots of it there, and probably enough to do the whole backing if I am careful about it. So that's going to be the next part that I sew together. I think that one will look really nice when it's done as well. Okay, onward and upwards.